Hey guys, don't forget to go ahead and leave a like for this video and click that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Once we hit 50 subscribers, we will be having a giveaway. So, let's go for it. Hello everybody, welcome to MTG Dungeon. Today's match is Counters Company versus Abzan Travers. Here with guest commentator Liam.
What's up? I'm that guy who plays lands up front. It's the proper way to play.
So, obviously I feel like game one, Counters Company has the advantage. Just because, I mean, they can win, turn 3?
I'm actually have to disagree with you there, because in my experience, the Counters Company deck is running a lot of stuff that just accelerates it the way that it wins, like Birds of Paradise, Noble Hierarch, that sort of deal. And those cards aren't very good against a deck like Abzan Traverse, where it's just looking to play a lot of removal spells on your key creatures. Eventually you're going to draw too many of those mana creatures, and you're just not going to be able to get your game plan done when you're top drawing dead cards. Like, they realistically only need to kill Heritage Druid, and then you're not going to infinite combo unless you go the backdoor route with the classic Kitchen Finks, Vizier of Remedies, Visir Seer combo. So
I gotcha. Looks like we have a classic start from the Abzan player of turn 1 fetch, Mistress Bobble beforehand, deciding if you want to keep what's on top or not.
Bobble is one of the quickest ways you can accelerate out those really powerful 1 mana tutor anything I want spells.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Get that artifact in there, especially for free. Get a free draw off it.
Yeah.
Helps with the graveyard. That's a good deal. Makes your Grim player is very good right out the gate.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking at the removal list for the Abzan player, and it's 4 Fatal Push, 1 Path, 2 Abrupt Decay, and 1 Maelstrom Pulse.
That's a pretty decent amount of removal.
It's a pretty decent amount. Like,
is he like light on creatures then?
4 Goy, 4 Grim player, only 1 Dark Confidant, 1 Ooze, and 1 Siege Rhino.
And the reason that you can skip out on those creatures is because you're playing Traverse. You don't really have to be as dense as you need to be otherwise. So, like, Bird of Paradise here is obviously a very, very fast start and appropriately gets pushed. That's how you don't want to, if you're planning on playing like the fair game, you don't want a Kitchen Finks to surprise you out of nowhere on a turn 2.
Or even just like turn 3, you could have just Vizired and infinite mana.
Yeah,
cord
exactly.
For the win kind of thing, yeah.
But then again, you run the risk of allowing your opponent to resolve that mana dork, which gets you the infinite mana. So if you don't have the double removal spell, sometimes it's the wrong choice to kill the bird immediately. But
I'm pretty sure he takes the Vizier here.
Definitely you can't. The issue is he's got Vizier and he's got Court of Calling and another land. So even if you take the Vizier, he gets to Court of Calling for 2 off the Devoted Druid, putting a -1 counter on it. He gets the infinite mana, but he doesn't have any payoff with his hand. It's just a...
Yeah.
He can't even cast the Quasali Pride Mage afterwards. Because you get 2 mana off the Druid, then you're tapping your 3 lands for the cord, so making infinite green mana with nothing but a Quasali Pride Mage isn't going to quite do it.
I definitely agree there.
Follow up with a Goyf is going to be good for putting pressure on, especially when you got that artifact in the graveyard, boosting its power.
4/5?
Yeah. Instant sorcery, land creature, artifact.
Ooh, it's 5. Goyf. Yeah, that's why Goyf keeps his price tag.
It's another reason why Bobble just fits so naturally into these Traverse the Oven Wall decks. Just makes Tarmogoyf better, makes your cards better. Because
I mean, the only thing that the deck isn't running permanent-wise is enchantments, right?
Yeah, you in the Jund Death Shadow lists, occasionally people would run that 1 red mana enchantment that shocks things if you sacrifice it.
Okay.
It's like a 1 of at most. You can just play the tribal Tarfire.
Yeah.
Get that tribal in there. So it's going to play out another Druid. This makes you more resistant to removal, but obviously he's not going to go for the infinite mana here if there's no payoff, so it's much better to play the Druid.
Yeah.
Found a Noble Hierarch for the turn. Again, that's not a very good draw in this matchup. Noble Hierarch is only giving you its Exalted when you're attacking, and attacking for 1 against a 5-power Goyf at this stage of the game it's not doing anything.
He can totally win that damage race, don't lie.
And it's going to have to be some serious misplays of
I mean, he's got some chump blockers out. He can get there eventually.
I mean, I get a feeling that's what Noble's going to be, is just a chump blocker.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to play out the Pride Mage too. You're going to get double Exalted, get in there for 4 with the Pride Mage.
Yeah.
Still not racing the Goyf.
Well, and also, if you're unfamiliar with like the Abzan Traverse deck list, you don't know if they're going to necessarily running any relevant artifact or enchantments. So I think Quasali Pride Mage is also a decent one to put down as well.
I like Quizali Pride Mage in the Counters Company deck just as a main board card because you'd be surprised if you're at like a GP or some sort of major tournament, you're eventually going to run into some sort of fringe deck that is playing maybe an artifact or enchantment that you just can't beat in the blind. And
Like mainboard Blood Moon?
yeah, like I mean, maybe not necessarily Blood Moon because you're playing a lot of like mana dorks, but let's say there's like you can't really go the infinite damage route, but your opponent has some sort of like ensnaring bridge, or they're playing a deck that for some reason is playing like what's that 4-mana enchantment? You can't lose if you can't go below 1 life if you have a creature
Worship.
play. Yeah, like if your opponent for some reason is playing like a mainboard worship, you at least have that out. Like it's and especially in a Court of Calling Collected Company deck, it's good to have outs.
Lily Lingering Souls, best combo.
It's pretty good. It's almost like not even discarding a card at all. Just lets it die immediately. There's something to be said for not attacking with Tarmogoyf there and just protecting Liliana if you think you're going to get lasting value. But if his hand is fairly decent, he wants to keep all the cards with it.
Yeah,
it might be worth just getting a single card.
Double Goyf.
And there's a clock, and those Goyfs are 6 power now.
Yeah, especially when you're at 12 life. I mean, you're forced to at least have to block one of them.
Oh, Kitchen Fix is pretty big here. And he's still got that Court of Calling in hand.
No, he had discarded it because of Lily, because it was the only card he had in hand.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough. One of the sweet tricks you can do with the Counters Company deck is you can set up a block with Kitchen Finks, and if you've got Cord in hand, you can then Cord her Vizier, and basically you have an unlimited 3/2 blocker that gains you 2 life every combat.
Yep.
But you know,
I'm pretty sure he's going to block here with the Finks. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, he's got a block. There's the chump block with that Noble Hierarch. It gave us 1 point of Exalted, helped kill Liliana, so it served its purpose. But that Liliana wasn't going to tick down against 2 mana dorks and 2 creatures.
So I got an Abrupt Decay, and I'm not sure the other card is in his hand.
Yeah, he tapped some mana, Flashback Lingering Souls.
I think that's for the Flashback Lingering Souls.
Yeah, he's got the Abrupt Decay left up, so...
I feel like he's in a pretty good spot.
Did he chump block with the Druid as well?
With the one with the -1/-1 counter on it, he did.
Okay, well, I mean, now that Abrupt Decay is super good, because even if he finds the Court of Calling,
or the Coco.
Yeah. Maybe it would have been better to not throw that Druid under the bus, especially in the face of the removal spell deck. You can afford to lose the Quizali Pride Mage before maybe losing the second Druid, because you're definitely not racing this.
No, at this point you're trying to combo off.
Yeah, it's worth taking the 6 point of damage to preserve the ability to combo off and the double.
I'm not sure I would attack with the Quizali Pride Mage here. I don't think there's any reason to.
Well, he's not winning through combat damage at this stage in the game, but if he's not going to commit to chump blocking with it, there's no reason not to attack. He's certainly not going to be able to block either of those Souls tokens, and if you can get a trade, or even one of them to block it, there's certainly no downside. So this is really committing to the line of chump blocking with the other Kitchen Finks here, and then just taking the damage. He left up his mana open, so if you got 4 mana open with a Collected Company deck, it usually signifies you have a Cord or a Coco.
Yeah. And I mean, and if he cords, he can cord for 2. So
he can cord for 2, but he's still losing to that Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
So it looks like we'll probably have a Collected Company here because he didn't tap the Kitchen Finks to convoke in combat.
Yeah.
If that is what he has.
I think I saw forcing something else in his hand.
There's the third Goyf.
Third Goyf. That's just.
If you weren't dead, no Coco. So his hand must be just terrible.
Yeah. Scavenging Ooze.
It would have been good a little bit ago when that Liliana ticked up and discarded Lingering Souls, but I think it's a little late to the party here.
I think it's too little too late, because he can't make him bigger than the Goyfs to make him trade badly either.
Well, you could eat the artifact, but there's too many instants, I think there's 1 sorcery, so you could eat an artifact, you could eat sorcery, you can shriek those Goyfs, but you're still dead to combat damage.
Well, and then the Abrupt Decay.
Yeah, the Abrupt Decay really just seals the deal. You gain 2, 3, 4 life potentially.
Yeah, you're stalling for a turn.
If you're not blocking with the Devoted Druid, which at this point you're definitely chump blocking with him, you have 3 mana, 4 if you want to get the counter, but then you won't be blocking at that point.
Yeah.
So
it's like,
looks like
I think he's still dead though, right? Because there's 12, 14 points of. Well, he can block 4, but there's 10.
Did he just eat 2 of the instants right now instead of eating any creatures? You're not. It's certainly better to eat the artifact because there's only 1. So yeah, he looks like he ate the artifact, he ate the sorcery, shrink those glyphs down to 3 power.
To 3 power. There you go. Okay.
And then there's still lethal damage in play. Even with a jump block, he's still taking 8.
Yeah, so he's still taking 8. So.
But he has not put a -1 counter on the druid, so I guess surprise, untap my guy, block. But he's tapped out at this point. So.
He's just showing him that, like... he could have stalled for one more turn, but I think at that point he's losing all his creatures. Like, even if he goes in infinite mana, he doesn't, unless he had, like, a way to find the creature he needed to start comboing off.
So in these sideboard games with the Collected Company deck, you get a lot better against the sort of black-green mid-range rock-style decks. You basically just cut all of your creatures. Like, I'll cut 4 birds, I'll cut every Noble Hierarch, and you just board in any sort of relevant threat. The removal spells that he's got, definitely very good. Path to Exile. There's a Abrupt Decay, I believe. So there's 4 removal spells that kill the clocks of Tarmogoyf and Grimflayer. It's very important in the match. Selfless Spirit can be pretty good to bring in, especially if you're expecting some sort of damnation effect. Tide Hollow Scholar, Sin Collector. Sin Collector is just better in general because it exiles the card, and the removal spell deck is probably going to kill the Tide Hollow Scholar at some point, making it slightly worse. And then just throw in the Lost Troll. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I feel like the Abzan player brings in Cletus from the sideboard.
Oh, absolutely. Stops the persist on Kitchen Finks.
It does. I also think they bring in the Golgari Charm, the additional Path to Exile, the Shriekmon, the Damnation.
Yeah. And from the rock style deck, you can sort of cut. You can cut Liliana because she's just not going to be very good against the all creatures deck, especially if they have things that they're willing to sacrifice. And then you want to keep all the cards in your hand because you're just going to trade removal spells and resources in this matchup.
Would you bring Collective Brutality in this matchup if you're the Abzan player?
Absolutely, yes. It kills almost all of their relevant creatures. I don't think they have any creature pre-board, save for the Shalai. How do you say that? Shalai? Is that another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pre-board, all of your creatures just straight up die to that, and then ripping a Collected Company or a Chord out of the hand can be pretty brutal. And Chord of Calling, actually, if you don't want to cut all of your mana dorks, if you still want to keep in like the Birds of Paradise, is to have flying chump blockers for Lingering Souls, or maybe flyers that can trade with souls.
Especially if you can get a
township
online.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then Chord of Calling gets a lot worse in this matchup. It's still worth keeping in 1 or 2 of them, just so you can chord for those silver bullets when you need to.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a lot worse in the face of just attrition and removal. You're not going to have the mana required to put into it. And then from the rock style deck, you can feel free to take out some of your hand disruption. You're basically you're interested in exchanging resources in this matchup as much as possible, and top drawing the removal spell late game when you just really need that kill spell or the relevant threat isn't going to be very good here, especially if Calvin does take out all the little mana dorks and just try to go for more of a quality game, quality deck.
Well, looks like our Counters Company player is keeping his opening hand for the second match.
Oh, you never cut.
Wow. Well, they're both. So who do you feel has the better mulligan advantage, the Counters Company or the Abzan deck?
It depends on some of the draws here. When you mulligan with Jund and your opponent mulligans, or any of the black-green decks, the hand attrition spells get really, really brutal for your opponent who's mulliganing, because they'll usually keep a hand that's okay, but really dependent on a single card that's just making it exceptional. So I usually give it to the black-green X player in the mulligan. But Counters Company, you could just have a hand that's got like a Kitchen Finks and like a Eternal Witness, and so just some of your value creatures that are going to get you 2-for-1s and get you ahead of that mulligan.
That makes sense. Yeah, honestly, I feel, especially since the Counters Company player is going first, I feel like he has a slight advantage on the mulligans, because if you can go like turn 1 Bird or Hierarch, and his opponent Inquisitions and sees like double Devoted Druid and or a Vizier, Devoted Druid, Kitchen Finks kind of thing with like a land, it's kind of hard to start. You can take away the combo when you start with the Kitchen Finks attrition.
Yeah, I mean, keeping in birds and keeping in hierarchs do make your mulligans a little better, because you can have even if your hand's not great, accelerating out a kitchen finks on turn 2 can just sometimes be good enough, and it's a really good threat on the second turn. But another mulligan here it's not looking in the favor of Counters Company at this point. Although a hand of like Devoted Druid, Collected Company, lands, you know, if you're saving that you don't get like Thoughtseize or Inquisition.
Oh, I mean, if you get Inquisitioned, you're okay because you have your turn well. If you can have like a hierarch and like a company, then giving Inquisition isn't terrible because they can't hit the Coco. But
yeah, you can't discard the top card of their library. So drawing very well is proven to be very effective against the Black-Green X decks.
Yeah. Looks like he's keeping it 5. Looks like he's keeping it 6. Looks like both of them are bottoming. Alright.
Yeah, tap land.
I think I see an Inquisition or a Thoughtseize in the hands of Inquisition, yep.
Pretty brutal here.
Let's see, we got
Selfless Spirit, Vizier of Remedies, and then 2 cards that are glowing.
Yep. Quarter Calling in looks like a land.
There's a Thoughtseize in that hand as well.
Ooh.
From the Black-Green X side. So
ooh.
This is hand's not going to get any better. I think there's a Court of Calling and a Forest.
Yeah,
so.
I think we take the Cord if I'm the Abzan player.
No, absolutely not. Because they're not going to... You know, if you take both of their creatures, then they're not going to be able to Cord for anything. So, if that is a Vizier, which it looks like it might be the best choice. And yeah, that's the Vizier, so... Nothing but a Selfless Spirit and a Court of Calling is your relevant cards. Yeah. Not going to be very good, and the Thoughtseize isn't going to make anything better for Calvin either.
I guess I don't know if he has any removal spells in the hand, which I don't think he does. I think he has 2.
You can kind of keep a removal eye hand if you got the Hand Disruption. They're both sort of serving the same purpose.
Yeah.
Let's see. Really just depending on drawing very well at this point.
Yeah.
Getting in for 2 there. It's always good. He chose not to play the Thoughtseize because he knew what the hand was, and there's nothing really beneficial.
Well, yeah, I said there was one mystery card.
And you don't really want to take Cord because he's got 3 mana available, basically.
Yeah, and especially if the other one's a land, then you literally just whiffed.
Yeah, exactly. Taking Cord isn't great at this point, so there's no real reason to Thoughtseize.
Like, now it would be fine because now he only has... Well, he has 0 mana. I guess technically 1 if he taps the Devoted Druid for the Convoke cost.
If he goes removal spell and the Druid into untap Hand Disruption, the game's virtually over at that point.
Yeah.
Provided there's a clock. But doesn't look like it so far. Just gonna fire off that Thoughtseize.
Yep. Oh, that's an Avacyn. All right.
I meant to mention that card. That's very, very good against Lingering Souls.
Yeah. I mean,
just take Cord.
Yeah, I think the Cord is obviously the best one because he'd have to be able to get 1 more mana and having to.
No, he takes. I guess he values.
Oh, second Thoughtseize. Okay, all right, that's just fine.
That makes the decision-making process a lot easier.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to take Cord if you respect just cording for infinite mana, untap, and maybe getting the win.
Yeah,
but if you got both Hand Disruptions,
right? He's like, okay, like put 1, see if there's 2 relevant spells, and there was. So yeah, you do both.
Yeah, so it's looking pretty dicey. Traverse Shadow needs to find a threat at this point.
Yep,
things aren't looking good.
I mean, he has the Shambling Vent that he can activate and nullify the 2 damage. The problem is at this point you're going to be tapping out for it.
You can remain at parity with the life totals.
Yeah. But I feel like that's not what you want to be doing right now.
Yeah, because every fetch land's sort of really starting to count at this point.
Yeah.
It's just going to get in with Shambling Vents. It's a fine play.
Yeah, so the only problem is that, you're tapped out, and so if he happens to, like, find a Coco...
Yeah, worst case scenario is that he casts Collected Company right now, but on tap of the Selfless Spirit, it's not happening. Another land, we'll probably just see an attack and pass.
Yeah.
Just looking for a... is Traverse active at this point? No, I don't think so.
No, there's just...
lands and sorceries.
Lands and sorceries, because Inquisition Thoughtseize is only what we had to fetch lands.
So He needs to start doing something. Yeah, there you go.
There's a Goyf. All right. Seems.
You got instant sorcery land creature.
Yep.
So it's a classic 4/5 Goyf.
Just classic. Well,
I mean, it's most average power.
Yeah. It's classic. 2 mana for a 4/5 with no real downside. That seems fine.
It's got upsides, I suppose. Let's see.
I guess the downside is like relic. Like it's a 0/1 now. Go away.
Yeah. If your opponent relics you, yeah.
Oh, that's a chord, so that's a relevant spell.
He can gain infinite mana here. There's open lands, so he may be a bit nervous to go for the combo in the face of a removal spell, but with the Selfless Spirit in play, it's pretty safe. Playing another land drop indicates that there's no comboing off this turn. It's probably best just to attack for 2 and then take the damage from Goyf on the backswing.
Yep.
You can get a little tricky here. You could just wait for a removal spell on the Druid and then Court of Calling for a Shalai and basically just get a free spell out of your opponent's hand.
I don't think right now he's enough to get Shalai, because Shalai is 4.
So he's got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If the Selfless Spirit was untapped, he could have courted for Shalai.
Yeah, if it was on the best. I think right now he's 1 short.
Yeah. Ronus might not be bad at this point. Ronus could start pumping some dudes. He's got open right now? There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. So you could chord for Ronus, pump the Selfless Spirit, and then kill the Tarmogoyf in combat by blocking. But again, that's really weak to removal.
Yeah.
There's open lands over there. So if he fires up the Shambling Vents and goes for an attack, that would be a sick play. Yeah, I don't think you can really do it at this point with the Goyf.
It looks like the Abzan player has the Golgari Charm in hand, actually. So this actually, I don't think, is a great spot for...
Is that a Grimflayer or a...
I believe it's a Grimflayer.
Charm?
It's both, okay, and the other one's Golgari Charm. So that's a pretty good setup for the Abzan player.
Golgari Charm doesn't stop infinite mana from happening at this point, because you can cast it and then just in response you generate infinite mana. It does kill the Selfless Spirit, and it would kill the Vizier, but the damage of the mana generated would already happen.
The thing is that, especially if he knows he's on top draw, he has to have both things in order to be able to go. He has to have, something to use infinite mana with.
And this is one of the reasons to leave in cards like Court of Calling in this matchup, is you can just snake out a game like this where it looks like you're very far behind, and then you just have all the right cards to piece it together.
The surprise win.
He can win in the face of Golgari Charm at this point.
Yes.
Kitchen Finks was the draw for the turn, so that doesn't really get you anywhere in particular. You can play Kitchen Finks, not tap any of your creatures or attack at all, and then go for the surprise Court of Calling for Vizier block with Finks. But then that puts you so far behind to that Golgari Charm. You get 3 creatures taken away from you if that Golgari Charm goes off. You get the Vizier of Remedies would die, the Selfless Spirit would die, and then the Persisted Kitchen Finks would also die, and that would be absolutely brutal.
I mean, I think playing a Kitchen Sphinx here still isn't terrible, because it's going to trade with the Grimflayer, because Grimflayer does not have the...
That's true. Grimflayer's not looking very good right now. Only 2 power. Another good play would be to Court of Calling for Scavenging Ooze, and then you could ensure that Grimflayer's never getting any bigger than it is right now. You could eat the single instant and shrink Goyf, and then there's 1 creature, so you could also eat the creature, and then have a 3/3.
I think right now, though, right, you're forcing your opponent to have to try and deal with the 2/2 with the 2/1 flyer.
Yeah, he's really being pressured by the 2/1 flyer right now, and just holding on to the Court of Calling at this point is probably the best play. You can still cast it here for looks like 1 in the face of some sort of hand disruption spell, but certainly keeping your options open with the Cord isn't bad at this point. It definitely is okay just to cast the Kitchen Finks, make sure that you're not going to die to combat damage, and then start swinging away for 2. But the Golgari Charm is going to kill that Selfless Spirit, so he's not going to win the game through that Selfless Spirit at this point.
So now the Abzan player can have the surprise pump for the Grimflayer, because there's land, sorcery, artifact, and that Golgari Charm make instant hitting the graveyard. So
absolutely, yeah.
That's a really good combat trick right now.
Attack with both. Just fire off the charm. I mean, it doesn't. It's not any worse than just holding the charm in your hand. You're still gonna allow the infinite mana to occur at this point. So if you can make it a positive trade in combat.
Oh, it looks like he's gonna fire up the Shambling Vent as well.
Yeah, I mean that's all right to do. You're certainly safe from the Selfless Spirit when you've got the Golgari charm. You might just want to get your life.
I mean, he might be afraid of like a top draw like Ballista, because a Ballista on 3 just kills him.
Yeah, he's just dead to a big old walking Ballista.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not even big. It's just he has enough to be able to make it a 3/3.
And you can sink 6 mana into it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the Shadow Event, and then you still have the 2 mana up for the Golgari charm. So I think that is a correct play. Like, put yourself out of that immediate walking Ballista range.
If it starts to get to the point where Calvin just has a lot of mana open and doesn't really have a lot of good things to do with it, you can just start value Court of Calling Out for Eternal Witnesses and just go wide with E-Wits. But,
yep.
Yeah. Still not looking good against that Golgari charm.
Leaving the Goyf back. All right.
I don't really like that.
I don't either. Oh, I mean, he's at... I guess he's afraid of a crackback of, like, blocking... If he blocks with the Finks, then the Spirit... I guess he's afraid of...
Well, I mean, if you're firing off Golgari charm next turn,
so
you're not
I think
dying.
what he's afraid of, if he swung all that right, Calvin would just sack the Selfless Spirit, block with the Finks, and then Golgari charm does nothing. Like, I guess it would buy him a turn, but...
Well, the combat damage would happen. The creatures would be reduced to 1 power and not destroyed, and then Golgari charm would finish them off. I believe that's how Indestructible works.
Right, what I'm saying, but he would, like, Calvin would still get the Kitchen Finks back, and then he would have no creatures, and he'd be tapped out.
That's true.
So I think that's what he was more afraid of. Because then he's only going to gain 1 life, because Golgari charm affects the whole board, and the Shambling Vent's only going to gain him 1 at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So
looks like they're going to trade... Ooh, that's not great for Calvin, because I think he's going to come back with a -1 counter on it, and I think now's the time to fire off the Golgari charm.
You can still wait for in combat on your opponent's turn. Maybe he untaps, he Chords of Calling for the infinite mana, and you can get another creature out of it that way. But of course, it's easy to say that when you know that there's a Chord of Calling in hand.
Yeah.
When you're actually sitting there playing and you don't know what your opponent has and you don't have perfect information, it's a lot harder to make the correct line of play.
Yeah.
So looks like they're having a little bit of argument about combat damage here. He hasn't gained his life yet from the Shambling Vents.
There we go. Yeah, so I think there was a confusion of... I think Calvin forgot that the Shambling Vent was attacking.
All right.
It's like, no, it should be at this life total. It's like, no, you're at this life total.
So he's fetching right now, which indicates that there's going to be a Golgari charm.
Well, I mean, he might be setting up for, like you said, like during the upkeep, like...
Yeah, I don't know. I guess so, yeah. Usually when you're going to go...
I think well, the problem's like right now, I think is a fine one, because like you're still on a 2-turn clock with the Spirit, and you're pretty much forcing him on top draw.
Just Golgari charm.
Yep.
Alright, I'm guessing the mode is regenerate each creature I control. Oh, yeah, I was wrong.
Man, so close. I would have guessed the Exile Graveyard? Or no, what's the...
Destroy target enchantment.
Yeah, there you go. I should have done that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Golgari Charm is such a sweet card in the sideboard of these black-green X decks.
Yeah.
It's very versatile. It's instant speed wrath sometimes. It kills pesky enchantments and makes you regenerate against Supreme Verdict. The very, very relevant actually. Jeskai is pretty good right now. It's running around in our local meta too, so gotta respect that.
Yeah.
What was the draw for turn? Is that a Azali Pride Mage?
I think he's just going to chord for the Vizier.
Chord for Vizier? If he drew the last piece in his hand right now.
That's a run. I mean, that's a pretty good one to draw.
Infinite regeneration.
Right. It makes an infinite blocker. I mean, that seems fine.
Yeah. And Goyf ain't going to do anything. Can't even attack with Shambling Vent at this point.
No. I mean, he does have a Fatal, so you can at least stop the infinite mana. Since Calvin no longer has cards in hand, you can stop that now.
Yeah, you have to kill the Voter Druid here.
Okay.
You don't have to.
I mean, I have to, but it's...
You probably wanna.
Yeah, right. Do it now and see if Calvin realizes to put the regeneration bubble on Thrun beforehand. 'Cause if he doesn't, then Thrun would die.
Yeah, I like that. Just main phase, fatal push your druid, see if he regenerates or not, and then if he doesn't regenerate, you can swing.
Yeah, that's where the true skill play starts to come in.
Yeah, I guess, but then that's committing to chump blocking with Shambling Vent if he attacks with the Thrun. So you attack, you put him to 9, but then you're not winning.
He has a second Goyf in hand.
Oh, if you got another Goyf, yeah.
Yeah.
So you main phase push.
Yeah, because I say...
Don't know if he makes the mana or not and regenerates at this point.
I didn't see any declaration of it, so I don't think he did.
If he didn't regenerate, then you attack. You just play second Goyf post-combat.
Yep. Because then it forces him to have to be more defensive. Yep.
So we got the attack. Looks like there wasn't a regenerate, or we'd see that snap block.
Yep.
Takes the damage. Second main phase Goyf.
Yep. Alright.
Both
on top draw mode.
That's where the Black-Red X deck wants to be.
That's a bird.
See, that's what we were talking about very beginning. Those birds, they're just not cutting at this point in the game.
Yeah.
Almost any other creature in his deck would be better right now.
Yep. So now I think you can attack with both Goyfs.
Yeah, you got an alpha now. You're in chump blocking range. Just chump block with the bird, and then you can block Shambling Vent to Thrun.
I don't necessarily think... Well, because if I'm at 4, I don't think I activate Shambling Vent. I just think I attack with 2 Goyfs.
Well, that's why you can attack with 2 Goyfs, because if he attacks with a Thrun, then you can just chump block with the Shambling Vent and not die.
Exactly. So that's why I definitely think the attack with the 2 Goyfs here.
Yeah, you put yourself dead to a timely Pact Exile or Abrupt Decay from the top of Calvin's deck. But yeah, at this point in the game,
fine.
Oh, another fatal push. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
You just got Alpha Strike at this point.
So you just come across, you force him to, have to pretty much find a Coco in order to actually be able to come out of this game. I think.
Jump block, regenerate.
Yep. Go to 4.
Not looking good.
Oh yeah, he double jump block. That's right. Okay.
Let's see. And it's to land. He's going to take 5 this next turn.
Yep.
You can actually make him take 7 because you can get in for free with the Shambling Vent because he has to block one of the Timer Goyfs.
Yeah. I don't think I would risk it though.
There's no reason not to. He's not going to swing back for lethal at this point, knowing that he has a fetch land.
Yeah.
So just block, regenerate, go to 4. Might as well fetch at this point. Just thin that deck.
just hope.
You're dead either way, unless your opponent was like Court of Calling for Siege Rhino immediately when you go to 3. That'd be kind of goofy.
I'm not gonna. I kind of wanted to see that. Just hey, surprise Rhino. Damn it!
Surprise! You are dead. Your only mistake was playing this game. Just one.
Does he find a Coco or a Cord?
Yeah.
E-Witness to get back a Cord seems fine.
You can get back Cord, you can get back Vizier, you can get back Druid. I kind of like getting back Druid. Just hope that next turn you untap get a Coco and win on the spot. Let's see what he's getting here. I mean, at this point, you could just get back...
Selfless Spirit isn't a terrible one either.
It buys you another turn, but that's not playing to win. That's playing not to die. So I think a better play would be just to get Heritage Druid, play it, just commit to chump blocking, and hope you top draw that Collected Company into, just God Coco at this point. Cause, yeah. I mean, his opponent is at 4. He's at 3.
He's still playing to his outs, because he can still,
just jump block with Eternal Witness. Oh, the double block out of nowhere. That's...
Well, I mean, if he sacks and takes out a Goyf, then it's just he can just infinite block with the Thrun and buy him additional turns.
There's no... did he? Yeah, he had regeneration mana. All right.
He didn't have regeneration mana.
Oh, no, yeah.
He was tapped out, yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's... Ooze, though.
That was a pretty good line of play. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
That's more playing to the board than playing to your potential to just untap and crazy win.
Yeah.
Which is definitely the better line of play here at this point.
This is how many creatures you got in your bin?
A lot!
Okay, well, we'll pass. Let's see if you top draw an E-Witness. That's the only time I'm really going to actually care.
Yeah, just Eternal Witness, get back to Selfless Spirit again. Well, there's green mana open, so it's not happening.
Township wouldn't be. Oh, the
No.
Township wouldn't be a terrible draw right now.
His own copy of Lingering Souls. Play in flashback immediately. But Scoos was so good at this point in the game. Just shut down any graveyard shenanigans, get myself to a comfortable life total, get a big dude. Which is really why Scavenging Ooze is the best creature to play last in the Black-Green X deck.
Oh yeah, because it's just you have the excess mana just to dump into them and just typically put yourself in a much better position.
Usually you play Dark Confidant first, and then you play Scavenging Ooze last.
Yeah.
Oh, Kalitas. You weren't dead before, boyo. Let me tell you something. You're dead now.
I'm pretty sure you just attack because you have another green mana open to buff the Scoos outside of the Thrun range.
All right, hold up. Are we going to talk about this non-bow right now? Scavenging Ooze Kalitas? Your deck's bad. What is this? What, do you not want 1/1 counters in life from your Scoos? Whatever. Terrible deck building. Yes. Man, there's a...
I don't think Calvin can top draw anything to get out of this.
Well, Damnation would be pretty good. Barring that.
I don't think... Does Calvin run that in his sideboard?
No, definitely not.
Okay, I was just like...
you don't play Damnation in your Birds of Paradise deck. And there's that bird.
Yeah.
Not looking good. Not looking good, bird.
I'm pretty surprised to see it. Yeah, alright. Abzan in 2.
That's why you take out those birds, man.